Jayden, starting to get pretty close now, a month in. What changes this week for the guys in terms of leading up to the season?
Yeah, absolutely. I think the last 2 weeks have really ramped up training, doing those sort of match sim drills and stuff like that. So we're really, ramping up and trying to make training as game-like as possible. There's a lot more hard running and things like that, a lot more contest work, and we're just getting ready for matches, which is in a couple of weeks. So I think everyone's really excited. So I know personally I like playing games rather than training. So if training's like that, it's a lot more enjoyable.
It's your second summer at the club. What have you noticed as the big differences from last summer to this summer?
Like I just mentioned there, I think with Matty Innes coming in, he's been really good with a lot of higher speed running and a lot more contest work. It's also with this younger list, there's a lot more energy out there. Guys are ready to take on the workload, and I can see the hunger. I know I am from last year and things like that. So I think I've noticed a real more energy group, and I think everyone just wants to improve and prove people wrong really.
Do you have a position locked in, Jayden, like where you think you'll play, or at least where you'll think you'll contend to play?
Yep, I've been training a bit wing and half back. I did a bit last year, so it's been pretty similar pre-season for me in those sort of two roles. Wherever the team really needs me out of those two, I'm confident to play that, so looking forward to it.
Do you think last season, was that your best season in the AFL? I know it's your first one here, but played every game, good finish in the BNF. Is that your best?
It's hard to say. I think maybe it was one of my more consistent years. Like you say, playing every game. I just wanted to come here and show my best self, which I think I did. I also sort of worked on my sort of leadership side as well. I came from a team that was a lot older than we were generally. So now I'm one of the oldest, and I'm trying to take these young guys with me, sort of teach them what I've learnt through my career.
Who are the other wingers that are looked at? Obviously, Gap's been here for a long time, but who else is going to be in that mix for the wings?
Yeah, we've got like Campbell Chesser. I think he's having a good pre-season, so I'm hoping he jumps up. Impressive Harvey Johnson as well, young kid, only been here a few months, but his sort of thirst to learn, and he's always asking me what to do and things like that. And he does it straight away. So I think a lot of the first years are like that. They've got their ears open and they're ready to learn from the older guys. And hopefully, I'm hoping everyone can push the guys that are in the team to make sure that they have to perform every week to keep their spot. I think that's super important with good teams, having a really strong seconds as well. So I'm pretty confident these young guys are really going to push us, which would be such a good thing.
Jayden, the AFL made a few changes to some of the rules yesterday. Have you guys spoken about them yet? It's pretty fresh. And how do you adjust as someone who has got a lot of pace about you when they are putting such an emphasis now on run-down tackles and protecting people's heads?
Yeah, I actually haven't seen them. I'll have to look at that after this. It won't change the way I play. I'll still take the game on and things like that. But I think just interpretation, I think they flagged that with us last week. So we'll see that roll out in those practice games and adjust from there if we need to.
And when they did flag that, what was the sort of things that came out of it, and would it be something that you implement in training?
It was more just what the interpretation of sort of what prior disposal is. If you've got chance to get rid of it and you take it on and get caught, I think they're going to be more clear on paying the free kick there. So I think it's hard to sort of judge until we do those practice games, but I think most clubs have 2 or 3 pracky games that the umpires are going to be there for, so that'll make it a lot clearer.
As a player though, do you feel like it's getting harder to make those split decisions in the moment of a game?
No, I don't think so, no.
Jayden, guy you played a few games with last year, but probably not as many as you wanted to, Elliot Yeo. Looks like he's really tracking well to start the year, powerful inside that midfield. How exciting is it to see him up and about?
Oh, for sure. It's sort of so clear when he's on right in the congestion. He's such a bull and he's so hard to tackle. So I hadn't really seen it because he wasn't full flight last year, but I'd obviously heard and played against him in previous years. So I think if we can get a strong Elliot Yeo, it's going to drastically improve us.
What was he like to play against when he was really up and going, sort of 18, 19, around that time?
Yeah, I think he's just a brute. He sort of bullies people around the contest. He's not afraid to sort of take people on. And he's got a little bit of white line fever, which is so important to have. So, I didn't enjoy playing against him, but I'm definitely glad now I'm on his team.
It looked like that Adam couldn't leave him in the midfield too long last year because of durability. Does he look like he could be full-time midfield, or do you see him splitting his time between midfield and half-back?
Yeah, I think a bit of both. I think he went to Doha with a couple of boys to see an expert in that sort of field with injury prevention and stuff. He's always, since then, sort of the last couple of months, he's been doing a bit different training and things like that, working close with the physios and stuff. But he's, really super fit, so I'd be confident. I'm not an expert, but I reckon he can run out a game in the midfield, and we also know he's got that half-back role as well. So, yeah, I think whatever the team needs, he'll be up for it.
From the outside, it looks like a certain number of young blokes have to play just because of where the list is at, and you need to get games into them. But there's always that integrity of selection piece as well. Is it, from the players' point of view, still pick the best team, or do you think there's pressure on the older players to be able to justify their positions because a certain number of youngsters will be playing no matter what?
Oh, I think it'll still be, pick the best team to give us the best chance to win. But I'm hoping that organically happens, that there will be that pressure on the older guys. I definitely think there will be. There's been a lot of young guys really impressed me this pre-season. So I think there will be pressure on the old guys, but that'll just work organically with hopefully the young guys really stepping up and playing some good footy.
Clayton Oliver's been dealing with a lot lately, as we all know, and you're a former teammate of his. Do you back him to turn around his challenges?
Yeah, I obviously don't know too much of what's going on, but I'm sure he's a very competitive guy. It'll be killing him not being able to. He wasn't training with the boys and stuff. I hope he can get back.
What was the culture like over there at the Demons?
My time there, it was good, but obviously don't know now.
How obviously a few weeks until Fremantle on the match sim here, you guys are starting to ramp it up. It's getting hot. How much has this pre-season challenged you guys in terms of physicality? And that I heard Don Pike last night saying there is a lot of contest work and that is a big focus.
It's been quite a big difference from last year. We're really pushing ourselves out there, and we got into sort of those match sim drills a lot earlier this pre-season, which is really good. I think it's going to prime us. I think, this last couple of weeks has been very tough. We were out there for last Friday in 40 degrees, but I think the harder we can train, the more that'll come out in games. So I think it's a really good thing.
Was last year the club had come off injury and COVID and it sort of wrecked 2022 completely. Did the pendulum swing a little bit too far, and maybe there wasn't enough contest work going into round one, and maybe you weren't quite prepared for when the real stuff started?
Yeah, I'm not probably the best to ask that because I was sort of new to the club. I didn't know how West Coast trained or anything like that. I think having a fitter team at the moment and more throughout this pre-season, we've had more out in the park, which actually helps you train that bit harder. It's pretty hard training with sort of 25 guys or things like that. It's actually hard to ramp it up a bit. So, I think we're in a lot better position this year.
When you talk about the contest work, one of your biggest strengths though is your speed. How are you guys working on your ball movement? Where do you see that sort of lying this year? How do you see that coming about? Do you see you guys being a quick side with the ball, or is it still going to be a bit more patient?
It'll be a bit of both. We've been working on both sort of styles of game. I think in the modern game, you need to be able to go quick in certain times, and then when late in quarters and things like that, play that slower game. So I think it's really important for sort of these young players to learn how to do both, and that's the sort of game plan we're going to go in, being able to go to both modes.